If you book me as your wedding photographer, I send you a gigantic wedding day questionnaire before our final timeline call, and I'm going to rapid fire everything that I'm going to ask you to make sure that your day runs as smooth as possible and I have as much details as possible. First section is just general info, your first and last name, your partner's first and last name, your phone number, the main point of contact, who I'm going to be messaging with day of wedding. I don't want to bother you on the day of your wedding, so I will be emailing or texting probably your maid of honor or best man. That's usually who people send as their point of contact. Then I ask if there are any restrictions. I usually do some drone photography, so sometimes there's restrictions there. I ask you the total number of people attending. If you book rehearsal dinner coverage, I have you send me details on that, like address, time, whatever. I ask if you have a flower girl, and I also ask you if there's just any other important information I need to know. The next big section of the questionnaire is the vendor team. I ask you to put all the handles and information for each of the vendors that you hire, so when we go to post our pictures, I can just easily tag everybody and they can use all the photos from the wedding day. That just makes life so much easier for all of us. The next big part of the questionnaire is the timeline portion. This is probably the most important part. So the first section of the timeline page is the getting ready. So you're describing your girls getting ready plan, you're describing the guys getting ready plan, locations, necessary addresses, all the things, so I can relay all that information to my second photographers and anyone else I'm bringing on for the day. I ask you what time your hair and makeup starts and finishes. This will determine when I start my coverage. I ask who will be helping you into your dress, just so I can note that they need to have their hair and makeup done before you put on your dress. And then I ask if there's any specific reactions that you want captured. We do a bridesmaid's first look, a flower girl first look, a first look with your dad. A lot of people like different first looks. So I ask here what is important to them and if they want any. And then I ask what part of the morning you're most looking forward to. So this kind of gives me a vibe check on your intentions and goals for the day. And that helps me direct where I put my efforts in the photography of the getting ready. So you gotta fill in that. And then below the hair and makeup section, I have some tips and tricks for the morning of. Just kind of remind you to have all your details in a box when I show up, have the space clean, because the more time we're spending on cleaning up the space for photos, the less time we have for photos. And then we jump into the general timeline, which is ceremony start time, ceremony location, cocktail hour start time, reception start time, travel time between locations, if that's applicable. If they're working with a coordinator or planner, that's good to know. And then I jump right into ceremony details, which is who's your officiant, any ceremony restrictions. Some churches have some restrictions and different locations have different rules. That's good to know. And then any special traditional moments during the ceremony. And then I ask if the ceremony will be inside or outside and what the rain plan is going to be. Then I have a portrait detail section, which is asking you if you're doing your first look, if you're doing your private vows. And then I ask how many bridesmaids and how many groomsmen, just so I have that noted for time-wise when I'm planning the group shots. Then I have a family shot list template attached that I will give you to fill out so we can run through family photos